So I wanted to do a video review on these screen enclosures for boathouse, but they also use them for home application, pergolas, outdoor sheds, all kinds of lean-tos, whatever it is. This is from a company in Orlando, Florida called Boathouse Shades, boathouseshades.com. I actually have right here their branding, so you can kind of see that. So they're all custom completely. They're really durable, really thick. They come in a variety of color. You can get black, which is what I got. They have gray, they have brown, they have white, a couple different other options. I went with the black because I figured it would just do a better job at blocking out a bit of the sun, and plus black is so much easier to keep clean. Well, it doesn't show debris as much as like white wood or something like that, and plus it kind of matches what I already have going on with my boathouse itself. Again, these are completely custom, so what you'll do for the company is you'll essentially give them your measurements. So I took it from the top of the stringer all the way down to where the floor level is, the deck level is, and what they did is they came up just a couple inches so I could kind of sit there. So what you're ordering whenever you purchase from this website is essentially all of the needed material. So they will custom make the shades, they'll have it stitched, and it's really thick stitching. It'll be custom cut to the dimensions that you need. They'll include all of your grommets, they'll include all of your mounting hardware for the top, they'll include everything that you'll need for the mounting hardware that slides into place for the bottom of the shade. Essentially it's just a pipe that will slide into the bottom that will give it some weight to help hold it down. It'll include all of the strings to help pull at it, all of your pulley systems, as well as the fasteners for those. These essentially they include as well. You can use these as a pulley, which actually they work better because these pulleys will eventually kind of rust. But everything that you get will be all inclusive in your price. These things have worked great. Not only do they protect your boat or whatever you have, if it's on a dock application or at home, from the sun and from the wind, but it will protect it from my application. I had birds and all kinds of things inside the boathouse, and the reason that I really bought these originally was because I was constantly having issues with birds all over my boat, which, my boat being extremely expensive, I wanted to protect my investment. So what this does is, as you can see, it's really pretty thick. It will block about 90% of the UV itself. So the oxidation that you typically will get on your boat will not start building from the sun beating on it. What all of this oxidation that you see on here, I had prior to installing these, and actually I just did a full detail and wax of the boat, which I can see maybe if I can include some photos in the video here. And then within a year, within just 12 months, this oxidation had already begun once again from the sun. So I have not re-waxed the boat since putting these shades on. But what it'll do is it'll completely keep that from happening. And again, keeping birds and such from coming in, what I had all the time was, and you can see I put some sound deterrent with the with this over here. We're trying to deter them a little bit. I used to have like owls hanging up. I have bird spikes all in the rafters. Everything I did really didn't work. The birds would always come back, and every single time I'd come out to come on the boat, I would always have bird droppings all over the boat. As you can see, since putting up these shades, I haven't had any bird problems, because birds are not gonna fly under and then swoop back up in and then nestle themselves. They're certainly not gonna go under the dock. So what you essentially do is you make it impossible for birds to kind of come in, because they're not gonna squeeze themselves down there. It's just gonna be too hard. They're gonna go somewhere else. They'll go to my neighbor's dock, gets them a lot. My other neighbor's dock gets them a lot. They actually feed them, which is really dumb. But yeah, I have not had any trouble with any birds. Now, I decided to do lattice for the front portion simply because I already had this here, And so they can cover, you give them dimensions, they can cover anything that you need. But I just wanted a couple access points to where I can easily open these. What they do is, let's see if I can do this. You will undo your grommets. I'm trying to do this one-handed. I don't know if I'll be able to do this one-handed. Ideally, you should be able to. Grab your string here. Again, it's on a pulley system, and you should just be able to pull. Yeah, see how it's starting to roll there? And pull. Pull. I'm trying to do this with one hand, makes it a little bit difficult. Pull. And as you can see, it just rolls right up in place, and then just like normal, you would lock it off. And there you go. So it just runs in this little rafter here, and then the screens will start developing memory the more that you roll them and keep them rolled, which really only takes like a week, to be honest. It doesn't take long at all. And now I have full accessibility to my boat, which I'm working on the engine right now. That's fun stuff. But yeah, I can open these all the way if I want to let wind come through. If it's a really, really windy day, these are good up to about 45 miles an hour, about 40 knots. And so you can have them down and latched up to about 40 knots. And then anything beyond there, what you do for like hurricanes, what I do is I just roll them up and secure them super, super tight. So any winds that's going to blow through really won't even be hitting the screens at this point because they'll be rolled. And the dock will just act as normal, and the hurricane will destroy it like it does every single year. That's fun. But yeah, so this one was, these were 10 feet sections. I had them do 10 feet, and I believe this was 7 feet, might be 8. And so that's about the largest section that they can do standard. Beyond that, they do it. It's just a little bit more custom. So sorry, it's 10 feet down. Yeah, it's 10 feet down. They can go as wide as they need, but once they kind of start going longer, they have the double stitch this one. So this was a 12-foot wide, which is one long current continuous section, as you can see. But what they did, because I wanted it 12 by, I think, 12 down, might be able to see it here. They ended up taking additional stitching. It's hard to see. And they just stitched two different sections together. So I have one all the way up, and then I have one that is stitched on, and then it just continues to curl. And they can do that for as much as you want. You know, if you need a 14 long or whatever it is. They're not too bad. Each section was just under $500 per section. And so that includes all of your mounting hardware, that includes all of the ropes, all the grommets, all the everything you need, fasteners, all that kind of stuff. So it's fully custom, and depending on the size, so I did 5, 1,000, 15, 2,000. No, you know what? It was less than that, because I think it was like 2,000 total. I'd have to look at how I broke it down. Anyway, it really wasn't too bad. They have all their prices online. You can check them on their website. In total, I was able to do the entire thing for just over $2,000, which, to invest the protection on my $120,000 wake boat, a couple $1,000 to make sure the sun and the birds aren't hitting it and all that kind of stuff, was totally, totally worth it. I'm tired of having to constantly clean off from the sun damaging my paint and all of that kind of stuff. It just wasn't worth it. These are a great application. Again, they hold up very well in wind. I've had them for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years now, actually. And I've never had any issues with them. They roll up, they roll down super easily. I've had them, actually one day we had a storm come through, and since I'm on a major river here and it gets extremely rough most of the time, I forgot to roll these up during a storm once. And so we had a storm blow through at about 35 to 40 knots. It was pretty intense, and these things held just fine. I would have rather rolled them up, but the wind essentially just hit and blocked on them. They held in place fine. So one thing that you'll notice whenever you're inside them is, again, it's going to block a lot of that wind. So if I stepped inside here and rolled this down, it'd be pretty much static in here. And outside of that, it also helps a lot with temperature control. So you'll notice it's a bit cooler inside here. It'll kind of trap the cool air that comes from underneath. And and just keep your temps all around pretty low. All in all, I love this company. I have suggested it to every one of my neighbors. One of my neighbors is actually going to be doing it at some point. But outside of there, it's just a great company. They're local. One thing I liked about them as compared to some others, because I know there's quite a few companies that will do this same kind of application, is others will have very sophisticated rolling kind of apparatus, where some of them will be electric, and so you'll flip a button and it'll start rolling from the top and everything just kind of rolls up into the top. The problem with that is it's more to break, it's more to get jammed, it costs a whole lot more money. I have yet to have a pulley break. I don't think that they will, especially these are pretty sturdy. These are rust a little bit, but I can always replace them, and again, after 2 years, they really haven't yet. It's just super simple operation. The only reason you wouldn't be able to get them raised is if you're in intense amount of wind, and so it can be kind of hard to get them to scroll up within wind, but it's still possible. Might just take 2 people. There are times where I've come out on super windy days, and honestly, if it's that windy to where I can't get them to roll up, I very likely should not be taking the wake boat out anyway, because it looks like the ocean out here, and sometimes I'll do that. It's too hard to do that. I probably shouldn't be doing that, and we're good. We'll go for a sail or something like that. But yeah, super great. There's very, very little maintenance, and by little maintenance, I mean there's actually no maintenance. There's nothing you have to do ongoing to make sure that they're operating well. Just if there's winds, if it's excessive wind, then roll them up, but excessive is going to be like almost tropical storm kind of stuff. So that is my review of Boathouse Shades. Again, they do all kinds of applications, from pergolas to screened-in porches to boathouses, what they're mostly known for in Florida and Orlando. That's what they sell 90% of their clients to. But they can do all kinds of things. You just send them a picture of what you want and dimensions, and they'll go to work. Very, very happy with them. They've held up really, really well.